What's going on, everyone? It's Jace. Sneaker collaborations used to feel special and enrich sneaker and streetwear culture. Today, I want to talk about the concept of collab and how it's starting to dilute sneakers and streetwear culture. Stay tuned. As always, if you're new to this channel, my name is Jace and I love to talk about finance, investments, and design regarding sneakers on this channel. So if you find anything I talk about today helpful or interesting, please consider subscribing and liking the video. Thank you so much. Cut. So today's video will be a little different. I recently saw a High Snobiety story where they addressed how collaborations are now commonplace and have lost their uniqueness in a sea of collabs. And I want to address the points they made with my own thoughts as a product designer. So the first one is that collaborations aren't really exciting anymore. They say collabs lie at the heart of streetwear and sneakers, and yet recently it feels stale because there's just too many collabs on the field. And I think they make a great point here because the idea of a collab hasn't really changed at all for the past 20 plus years, which is also why it's contributing to the stale feeling. So for example, when the SB Dunks first came out in the early 2000s, a collab with Supreme meant that they used designs and materials not yet seen on a sneaker, and the whole collab concept was fresh in people's minds. And the only problem now is that they're still using the same formulaic idea of what a collab should be. And the whole thing with collabs is that they're meant to contribute more to the culture, more than what was existing before that. And that's really the issue, is a lot of people are still following that same formulaic way of doing collabs instead of redefining what it could be and kind of enriching the culture itself. The second point is that collabs used to tell an existence and an origin and justify why it existed. So back when I got into collabs, I remember collabs were way less readily available and you really had to go out of your way to get some of these collabs, and you had to be a part of the community to even find out about it, to even know about it. And being able to cop that sneaker made for a great story, made for great memories when you told other people that were into the same hobby how you got the sneaker. And the other thing is that Nike and a lot of these other companies have really kind of diluted the market with the amount of collabs that they hand out now to many influencers, stuff like that. And that really has to do with the companies themselves giving these influencers their own collabs in order to push these ideas out. So a great example would be like Off-White collabing with Virgil, doing the Jordan 1s, for example, some of the most hyped shoes in existence right now. If you look at the sneaker itself, there isn't really any reason why it exists. If that sneaker design came out and it wasn't branded Off-White, I guarantee you it would not be worth, let's say for the European white ones, they would not be worth like 5,000. So I'm saying there's no real reason why this sneaker exists. But for example, when Michael Jordan came out with the Airships and the Air Jordan 1s, these were actually groundbreaking basketball shoes for the time. But now it's like that, like I said, that formulaic experience of doing collabs. And it doesn't really add to the history or the richness of the culture of the sneaker by doing Virgil's own version of it, for example. And as a product designer, one of the most important aspects of improving on a product and being a designer is that you're objectively improving the features and actually improving on the old design. If all you're doing is changing the colors of the same product over and over, it's okay if you're the first person or even the 100th person to do it, but you can't really say it's for the culture anymore, and it's really only in existence for the sake of hype or being cool if you're let's say the 1,000th person doing the same thing over and over. And at the risk of sounding like a hipster, one of the ones that I've always loved is SB Dunks. Those have always been my favorite sneakers because they always collab with smaller brands that had a rich history or culture inside the platform. And they really kind of highlighted different stories and origins. So one of the recent ones I love a lot would be the Street Hogger SB Dunks. They represent a huge history and culture and have a lot of symbolic meaning. And the more you look at the sneaker, the more you appreciate why it exists. And yes, it still doesn't really feature any improvements or designs, but it's okay because that's not necessarily what sneakers are here for to do. They're used as a platform really to kind of help people learn about different cultures and to bring people together. At least that's the way I look at sneakers. So now I want to kind of go into some sneakers that I feel like only exist just because. So recently the Sakai Fragment collabs, they don't really teach you about sneaker history or sneaker culture really, right? It's literally just an LD waffle sneaker with a Fragment design on it. There is no Fragment design language on it whatsoever. The blue pair doesn't even feature the blue Fragment color on it. And another one would be the Travis Fragment ones. Again, it follows a super formulaic design. The only thing they changed was the colors, and Travis Scott's claim to fame is that he flipped the swoosh backwards. And honestly, that's really different, and it's really crazy that Nike even let him do that, because if you guys don't already know, just in graphic design, you usually don't ever mess with the way a logo is placed, because that can detract from the value and really make a brand look weird or different, and it can make it represent something different altogether when you mess with the way a logo is placed. So it's pretty crazy that Nike let him do that. So yes, that is kind of cool, but at the same time, it doesn't really feature anything special on it that adds to the Jordan 1 as a whole, because that shoe in itself already has so much rich history and culture built into the sneaker in itself. And I think that's kind of one of the big reasons why so many people aren't willing to let that sneaker go, and they want to just keep doing collabs with it, because it already has all those things in it. So it's an easy platform for them to influence other people to want their sneaker, even if they're an influencer that didn't really do anything for the culture in any way, shape, or form. So all I'm saying is, hopefully in the future, I hope sneaker collabs move away from just redoing colors and choosing different materials, because that is what old sneaker collabs were, and that's why it's getting really stale now. And hopefully we see more creativity. For example, like when Michael Jordan first got his Jordan 1 collab, you know, that was a completely different shoe. It was a new sneaker. It wasn't just a redesign of something that existed. But anyways, that's the video. Let me know in the comments below when you kind of got into sneakers, and what was going on during your time when you were a part of the sneaker game, and what do you think of the current condition of how collabs are going? Do you think it's kind of what I've been saying, where it just feels like it's really played out, or do you think that it's still really cool? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, it's Jace. I post new videos every Thursday regarding investing, finance, and design relating to sneakers on this channel. So if you like this content today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell notification so you get updated with my latest video drops every Thursday once again. So until then, take care, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Stay laced. Bye.